Dream, he almost manhandled Hurricane there. But now he's up against an entirely different caliber of Protoss, literally one of the best Protosses in the world. Dream is going to be going up against Zest.
That's really gonna put it all into the test. And you know what else? I just realized, like, there's also gonna be a battle of who gets the pink color.
It is. This is for the old school people in the chat. This is a classic KT versus SKT, Zest versus Dream. Oh boy.
I just love that 2015 season, light.
Oh boy. Yeah, that was really when Dream was coming into like into his form, like when he was first starting to shine, and it's so great. We didn't really get to
went to the military.
Yeah, we didn't get to touch on it, but Dream, he's back from the military. He's here once again in StarCraft. He's looking on fire right now. Can he do it against one of the best Protosses in the world?
Well, I guess we're about to find out right now on Golden Wall. Holding up the... I actually forgot to copy paste it. That's what happens. That's what waking up early does for you. On the left-hand side of the map, spawning all the way in the left-hand side of the map, we have the pink Terran player coming out from the land of South Korea. This man, he's my inspiration. He is my goal. He is representing Bravestar Gaming, BSG. He is Dream.
With a very cheeky SCV to the north and putting in the bottom right-hand corner of Golden Wall LE, currently getting proxy racks. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have representing Raise Your Edge Gaming, RYEG. It is Zest.
And where are my Pro League cheerfuls at?
Hada, door, set, SKT fighting!
Yeah!
Oh my god, those were the days. Jesus Christ. And here we go, Dream. He's got double gases here on the way. I imagine this is going to be for a tech lab for Proxy Marauders? Question mark? Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, okay, he's starting with the Reaper. He's only getting one Reaper right now, for the moment. I would be surprised if he goes for a second Reaper after this, but, you know, there have been... it has been known to happen. There have been Terran players who did that. But I can't imagine that you want to do that instead of the Tech Lab Marauders, right?
I'm really curious to see what we're going to see. So we have the SCV going in here like a normal SCV scout, you know, nothing out of the ordinary for Dream. And there we go. He's actually got a factory on the way. So, yeah, interesting build here from Dream.
A second Reaper is on the way right now. Like, he's not going for the Tech Lab.
He's not, and I think a lot of this is kind of a fake out because Zest, he did go for a probe scout and he spotted that there was no racks like at home.
Oh my lord, Dream, you're micro.
Whoa.
Kiting this zealot to hell and back, getting 2 probes. We'll have to retreat once he sees the Stalker, but the important part is he didn't wait to retreat. And as such, he keeps both of his Reapers alive.
Yeah, this is insane. So he didn't go for a committed proxy of any kind, right? Like he's throwing down the rest of his production at home. He's throwing down his CC as well. But with that initial Reaper, still getting those two probe kills, like getting forcing a Zealot out as well. That's never what you want as a Protoss player, forcing to get a Zealot out, just delaying the economy. So far, so good for Dream.
Really, really whiz. And now we've got a Hellion joining on the way, which... You know, if Zest isn't careful, I only spot 1 Stalker and a Zealot right now, like... If Zest isn't careful, this can really mess up a mineral line.
Yeah, this is at least going to get scouting information. It's going to dive right into the main base of Zest.
Oh, yeah. Well, unless Dream decides, you know what? I don't like to look at that natural mineral line.
This is true, that there's options here available for Dream, but he knows how valuable scouting is. He slips right on into the main base. He should be able to spot that Twilight
Dream, Zest. That could have been really terrible, but Zest, he just calculated that so well. He knew that a single Hellion volley wasn't going to take out that many probes, but he still loses 4.
Yeah, 4 probes went down. Again, Dream, he was able to scout that Twilight Council. He saw it researching as well, so he knows that there's no Stargate on the way, there's no Robo, there's nothing too crazy, knows exactly what Zest is doing, and wow, even going to follow this up with a Widowmine drop.
Yeah, once again, no armory, so, you know, I think I can only take so much inspiration from Dream.
Yeah, and honestly, like I love the way Dream is playing this. Like he's so aggressive. He's got this Widowmine drop behind this. He's got a Liberator on the way as well. Like he's not stopping. Like he just wants Zest to stay at home.
And be real honest with you, Light. I really like how Dream is playing this out, but I don't see a Robo facility. I don't want a backseat game, but I don't see a Robo facility. I don't see an Oracle.
Yeah,
an armory is pretty good idea. But I do like that. I do like that Dream is being pretty. What's the word I'm thinking of? Attentive to this mine drop. You know, once a mine hits, he unborrows and picks it up immediately.
For those in the chat who may be tuning in for the first time, Yaku, he really wants that armory first for the invisible widow mines to be like a more common thing.
Like how many times have I said it? Like it doesn't. It's not as insane as it could be because more often than not nowadays, Protoss players open up with a Robo Bay or with an Oracle. So you can get detection out. Zest didn't though. This is the one scenario where you want an armory and to really cause a lot of damage.
You're like, look, I'm not saying I would beat Zest, but
exactly. I don't want a backseat game here. I know. There's a reason why I'm taking inspiration from Dream and not vice versa. But
yeah,
this is the one time that you know, I feel like I should be listened to.
You're like, I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying that it's great to have an armory at some point. And honestly, this is really nicely done. Once again, Dream, he's being so attentive with this drop, like continuing to keep that Widowmine alive, like going in, getting a kill, and then picking it back up. Again, the medevac hasn't been shot once yet, so the potential to like boost past the Stalkers and escape is still there as well. As I say,
and he's going into the other mineral line. But I think Dream is just planning to keep this medevac here, you know, try to keep Zest a little paranoid, you know, keep him on his toes. That Widowmine could pop out at any point.
It's so important. Like the threat of that medevac being there, it just forces Zest to keep some supply on hold position, stationary, like on the edges of the map, you know. And oh, he actually sneaks in. Does he see? Does Zest see?
Zest doesn't see it. Zest doesn't see it. Zest doesn't see it. 7 probes go down immediately, just like that.
Wow.
As we said, Dream, he's just so attentive when it comes to these mine drops.
Jesus Christ, Dream, he's just looking so good. He's just so good. Look at that. Oh my god. Like so much probe damage. He's gonna be expanding, taking a third base, taking the gold at his third base of all things. And Dream, like he's been left at home the entire time. Like his production, his macro is gonna be kicking in like any time now, any moment now.
Yeah, Dream has just been a Terran player who has been left alone for the entire early mid game, and his production, as you said, really starting to ramp up. His army count is almost twice the amount of Zest right now. Zest's best option right now is what he's doing. He himself is starting to pump up that production. You know, he did get that third base early on. He really needs to start, you know, chronoing out this Colossus, I would say, and a lot of his other production to be able to survive a push from Dream.
Yeah, definitely. And now that Dream has that gold base, and we do see that a lot of his tech or a lot of his upgrades were delayed because of how aggressive he was with the Widowmines and stuff, but now it's all coming together, you know, +1 combat shield sim, it's all finishing up, and once that's done, then Dream, he can finally start pushing out with his main army.
Yeah, he really can, and it's why I do like what Zest is trying to do to buy himself some time. You know, he's parking his stalkers right outside that golden base.
Yeah.
And again, he's just buying time, trying to get these Colossus out, trying to get some buffer units for these Colossus. That's very important in when you're playing Protoss.
It's incredibly important. At the same time, an auto turret going down in the third base, killing a couple probes, delaying more mining time. There's so much energy on this Raven. Going to be diving in here to the natural as well. Oh, has to be careful.
Yeah, dives away once he sees his Colossus. He knows that an auto turret will go down, and you know he probably also wants to keep his energy for some disables.
Yeah, and subsequently, like with that Raven, he actually spotted that Dark Shrine in the natural, so he was able to see that DTs are going to be on the way as well. Really nicely done. And here we go. The main push is coming for Dream.
That it is, but he does have to retreat as he knows that Zest, he's got a little too much meat in that army.
Oh my god, but the main army was pulled apart, so 4 more probes are going down. Like Dream, he just F's in the chat for the probes and that's this game.
Yeah, this is not at all what you want to happen to you when you're playing this style of, you know, greedy, what's it called? Gateway. Robo Gateway play.
We'll see. Again, like Zest, he's been losing a lot of pros, but at the end of the day, it will come down to this main army engagement. Like, if Dream is somehow caught, like, unsieged, out of position, like, surrounded, or he doesn't split against the Disruptor, like, it could all be over for him.
Exactly. I think that's absolutely going to be... I think Zest absolutely is going to have to try to force the engagement on a choke point, because, as you said, Dream, he has a really good army if he can get a concave, if he can split against these Purification Novas. Because otherwise, that's just going to be a lot of dead, units on a ramp.
Exactly. Oh my god, 3 Disruptors here for Zest. Like, there's a lot of potential here. Dream has to be so careful not to bunch up his tanks. Oh god!
Dream does lose a lot of the bio right there. It still has enough to really contest this, but that is not at all what you want to have happen to you as a Terran player.
Yeah, we saw Dream was trying to focus fire that Disruptor to kill it before the shot goes off, but this time it did not work. The shot did go off.
Yeah, I guess misclicking just 1 pixel off or something.
Yeah, but this is a pretty good siege position, and so far no more Disruptors have landed.
No, they have not, and once again, Dream just kind of splitting the Protoss army? What was that? Yeah, one Marine chased the Purification Nova all the way back.
No fear. That Marine was terrifying to that Purification Nova. Wanted to get away from him. But yeah, like, again, he's edging his way closer. He has to be careful, though. Again, Zest, he can collapse on this army.
Exactly, that's the double-edged sword of, you know, splitting the Protoss army in half like this. On the one hand, you'll be able to really contest a lot. Nice splits. Lose only 2 Marauders. Dream, you have to be careful, though. You're about to get concaved, but he does turn around with the rest of his Bioforce. And honestly, these Colossus are starting to look a little exposed here, Light.
Yeah, it looks like the majority of the Disruptors have gone down on the right-hand side.
Look
the
at it, army supply plummet. GG is called. Dream, once again, showing off his TVP prowess, taking game number 1 of that best-of-3 series against Zest. Of all people, against Zest.
Wow. Dream 1-0 in this best-of-3. Takes a game off of the Tyrant himself, off of Zest.
Man, we really are taking it back to 2015.
You're right.
It's been a while since I've heard Zest call that.
Yeah, it's been a while. He used to be the Tyrant, man. That's what they called him. They also called that to Jadon.
To Jadon,
yeah. Oh my god, but what a game. Again, Dream we against Hurricane, against Zest as well. Like, his aggression, it works so well here. But we're talking about Zest. I mean, you know, he's such a good player. Like, he's not going to crumble under the pressure here.
Exactly, and, you know, Zest, when I think about him, especially nowadays, you know, not so much in the current year of 2015, but I have a feeling that way off in the distant future, like, perhaps in that year 2020, Zest will evolve into a player who has a lot of builds up his sleeves and is, you know, throws in a little bit of cheeky openings.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see. Like, Zest, he used to be the more macro-esque player. He used to, he basically took up the mantle from Rain after Rain left. Now,
how long have we... 1.5 hours! Yeah, that's how long it took for us to talk about Rain this week.
How can we not? How can we not?
That's true. He is that SKT boy in this SKT versus KT matchup. And speaking of SKT, we're now on Pillars of Gold, holding up the Golden Wall, protecting the Eternal Empire, where the LE submarines are hidden. Here we are now in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. The Pink Terran player representing Brave Star Gaming BSG. We have Dream.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Raise Your Edge Gaming, RYEG. It is Zest.
Yeah, not Rain.
Not Rain. Oh my god. Look, how can we not talk about Rain? All right, look, for the people in the chat who maybe are tuning in for the first week, we've been casting ESL Open Cup Asia every single week, almost every single week for the year.
And we've kind of noticed that somehow, when Light and I are casting ESL Open Cup Asia, at some point in the broadcast, we end up talking about Rain.
Look, how can we not, right? Like, the thing about these weekly cups, for the people who aren't aware, they're very Protoss heavy. Like, Trap,
They really
Stats,
are.
Zest, Hurricane, Patience, like, all these top-tier Protoss players, they show up every single week. So, when there's so many Protoss, like,
You gotta talk about
Rain.
yeah. You gotta talk about the history of Protoss, and you gotta talk about
Yeah.
who, in my opinion, is possibly the greatest Protoss player of all time. SKT. Well, maybe not SKT Rain, but Mind Sandy Rain. He was pretty good when he was in SKT though, as well.
I would say it. I would say SKT Rain. Right? Look, there's a gif out there. There's a gif out there of Rain winning an ace match in Pro League. He goes out to the crowd. He he high fives a couple of the fangirls, and then as soon as his hand touches the one of the fangirls, she just freaks out. She's like, "Oh my
I
god!"
remember that.
There's just so much history there, and even Kuro in the chat. I miss Rain now.
How can you not? He's a legend.
Literal legend.
And yeah, we kind of started a betting or a betting wager. How many hours in ESL Open Cup before we talk about Rain?
We did before the broadcast started. We're like, how long is it going to take before we start talking about Rain?
1.5 hours is the answer for this week.
Technically negative like 30 minutes because we were talking about it before the tournament started.
Yeah, well, it doesn't count if it doesn't come up organically.
True. I mean, it was kind of organic as well because we started talking about it. Then we're like, how long is it going to take us? But, oh god, we do have a game here, and Zest, interestingly, he's not going for a Twilight Council opening.
Yeah, switching it up, and I do actually really like this here, Light. Going for the Oracle first, and you know what that means? It means that the Armory is not going to be as effective if Dream decides to go for a Mind Drop.
You're not wrong. There's detection available just in case. As long as Zest keeps that Oracle alive, Revelation will be there. And even if he does it, he can always just chrono out an Oracle as well. It doesn't take that long to do. So, yeah. Luckily though, Dream and not opting to go for that factory play. That Armory play into that Widowmine drop. Despite that though, he is going for a Widowmine drop.
Oh yeah, once again, I imagine gonna go for the more conservative 2 Widowmine style, but that being said, every time we've seen him do that, he's always made the most of them. He's always been very attentive, making sure that he just doesn't lose those Widowmines, making sure that, Zest is always kept on his toes. He always has to think, there's a possibility that Medevac might come back with Widowmine and kill half my mineral line.
Exactly, and that's exactly what happened last game. Like, the Widowmines, they just kept going in and out. You can't explain that. Like, so many probes went down. At the same time, though, the Marines, they were not in position. 2 SCVs already falling to this Oracle.
Yeah, and especially concerning is one of them was building that supply depot. Dream is supply capped right now.
Oh, yeah, and he hasn't actually gone back to rebuild that depot, unfortunately. So, yeah, really nicely done. Meanwhile, the drop is going down in the natural of Zest.
Yeah, unfortunately, that Widowmine only getting 1 probe. This other Widowmine, no! Dream is chasing the probes!
He's chasing him in the blind shot.
Could be a couple. There could be a couple. Oh, but a Revelation. Dream, you're being greedy here, but it does pay off. He gets about as many probes as he could have, considering his circumstances. Dream, he was just so patient.
Yeah, Dream, he was so, as you were saying, he was really greedy, like trying to go for the most optimal shot he could have. Got into the gas, and you could see that it was targeting the gas probe for a while. Eventually, he target fired, and 4 probes went down, and now even more.
The Hellion is here, and actually pretty well dealt here by Zest. I got a little bit worried when his Oracle turned around, but he did have the Stalkers moving into position.
Yeah, definitely, and again, really nicely done by Dream, like able to just, get whatever damage he could with those 2 Widowmines. All in all, 5 probes have gone down. Not the end of the world, but, it's still some pretty decent damage nonetheless. And this time, finally, Zest, he's pushing out on the map.
Yeah, really making the use of these Blink Stalkers, which, as we said in the past, is a very versatile build. Some Protoss players like to use it defensively. Zest says, nah, I'm gonna be aggressive. Yeah, didn't even need Blink on top of that tank.
Exactly, the tank goes down, the Viking as well, and Zest, like, Blink Stalkers in the hands of Zest. Like, you can just trade so efficiently here, just blinking back, not losing anything.
Especially when Stim isn't complete here. Earlier on when Dream had a Bio Ball, if he had Stim, then he may have been able to just take out those 4 Stalkers from Zest, but without it, Zest just starts microing back. It's about to blink into the main, I imagine.
Vision is here because of that Oracle, but he decides not to in the end. And something that's important that I'm pointing out is that Zest is the first time that he's on the other side of the map. Like in Golden Wall, the entire time he was on the defensive, he was just like focusing on his own bases. But now Zest, he's doing what he does best. He's being aggressive here.
Absolutely. And he's being pretty cautious though with his aggression. He doesn't want to just blink on top of the main. He wants to really make sure that he can blink in the best possible location to maximize the damage. And actually drawing out a couple of these Marines. If Zest unfortunately, again, being, I would say maybe a little overly cautious right now. If he blinked on top of this tank, then maybe 100%. He would have got some damage done.
Yeah, there's not enough here to protect the tank. He could have just gone up the ramp because the main Bioforce of Dream was out here in the middle of the map. Oh, it looks like he's trying to catch the Stalkers though. Yeah,
beautiful concave coming down from Dream. And it forces Zest to retreat. But Zest, he's fine with that. It's a very strategic retreat as 6 gateways are starting to get thrown down. This is a Protoss player on 3 base economy. This is what happens when you don't get to pull off the pressure that Dream did in the previous game.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Zest, he's just ramping up his production. He is now on the offensive, and with that, like, there's already been a lot of opportunities. Like, he's shaved off so many Marines over time. He's shaved off a couple of tanks as well. And unlike Hurricane, he's not going for Disruptors. He's going for Storm.
Indeed, he is.
And we were talking about this, right? Like, Storm, like, that's kind of the ideal AoE, you know, that you want against Terran.
Oh, yeah. I feel, in my opinion, Disruptors are a little bit of a gamble here, right? Sure, you can take out the Terran army in about a blink of an eye if you're not paying attention, but on the other hand, if they split, then you're basically wasting your supply.
Exactly, and at the highest level of play, like, you expect the Terran player to split, you know?
Exactly.
That's what they should be doing. You know, what Dream has been doing, right? We've seen it time and time again. He's warmed up against Hurricane and Game 1 versus Zest.
Yeah. I mean, even though he did eat a couple of Purification Novas, he is warmed up now.
Exactly. And I love this. We have Storm on the way. At the same time, Ghost Academy is on the way. Unfortunately, the upgrade won't be ready for those Ghosts, so the potential for Storm is there, but only for a small window because eventually Ghost will be out for those EMPs. But Zest, he's not looking to give Dream that time.
No, he is not. If he can catch his dropout.
Uh-oh.
And Dream, he's just gonna be...
Wow. Oh, I think he saw it. I think he saw it. He's going to try and intercept it.
Yeah, and taking out this medevac is definitely going to be the first start. Dream, though, is actually doing a decent job of keeping Zest back.
Yeah, it's buying a lot of time. It forced Zest to rotate around and like skirt around the edge of the map trying to find it. So, yeah, a lot of time bought.
Exactly. Now he's got a lot of tanks. He's got a couple of Vikings, which I think he may have been planning to deal with Colossus, but honestly, it can deal really well against this Warp Prism, especially considering all the Templar in it.
Exactly, that's the thing, right? Ghosts are going to be coming out, and that's why you have the High Templar in the War Prism to avoid the EMPs. But
this is a very ambitious War Prism. It's still alive somehow. And the High Templar do come out, but this is a very, very dangerous location to drop and fight. So Zest, he's starting to back off. That was a pretty good trade. And not okay, that was a very good trade for Zest. I was gonna say pretty good trade. I'm not sure who's ahead. But if that Storm at the end, yeah, no, Zest is definitely ahead. There is a drop, and it's taken out 12 probes. And as you said, Zesty was going so aggressive. They just has nothing at home. He does have a recall available to him, if I'm not mistaken. He does.
Oh my god, so much production is being just depowered right now, forcing a recall into the natural, not into the main base. So this drop dealing even more damage here, forcing Zest home. And yeah, like that just completely, that gives Dream map control once again.
Once again, he's taken it, and he's not counterattacking with his entire army. He's just pushing out with just sort of a double drop right now, which you can afford to do. I think one of the biggest takeaways from that drop, preventing +1 armor from coming down. Zest is playing a gateway heavy style with involving a lot of zealots. You don't want weapons on those zealots. Well, ideally you would, but you want to prioritize armor because they are melee units. You want them to survive long enough to get close to the Terran army.
Exactly. Like Dream, he played that so wonderfully, forcing Zest back home, forcing that recall, giving Dream some time to breathe, and now he has that Ghost upgrade. He's getting another base, he's ramping up his production. To be fair, so is Zest. Like, he's also expanding. Again, somehow that War Prism was able to stay alive. Like, everything would have changed if that War Prism got sniped.
It's on 5 health light. It's a 5 health. It's regenerated its shields, but literally one more bullet from a Marine.
Yeah. Oh my god, like the potential was there. Dream, if that happened, he could have like completely crushed the army, especially if there were a couple of High Templar in the War Prism at the time. So, yeah, just a little bit of moments there. Regardless, actually, a couple more probes going down in the third base of Zest.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what been dealt with, but yeah, pretty nicely done nonetheless.
Again, I love this, just keeping the economy down as we see 24 probes have gone down so far to the 7 of Dream. Again, Dream doing what he does best, that harassment, that multi-prong.
And here in 2015, that's as many workers in one mineral line.
It is, yeah. I don't think that's going to change for a couple of years, but yeah.
Not unless Blizzard suddenly decides, you know what? Let's decrease the amount of minerals per base, but, you know, why would they do that, am I right?
Right. We'll see. I mean, they've been pretty active when it comes to changing the game, so maybe they'll keep up with that. As there's actually 2 drops happening, one in the main base of Zest and one at the third.
Oh, and Zest's army, he pushed out. He went so far deep into Dream's side of the map, forced to retreat, come all the way back home. And again, he just does not have that recall. No, I think he does have a recall. It's just, he doesn't want to use it.
Yeah, I mean, he did use recall earlier, and maybe it's off of cooldown, but again, the 2 drops, they were able to deal a bit of probe damage and pull the army of Zest apart, because it looked like he wanted to push out at that exact moment,
I thought Dream was dead. I gotta tell you, like, I thought Dream was dead if Zest caved in with his entire army. I didn't think Dream would have had enough there.
Oh, and
speaking
of Dream, yes, be careful not to get caught unsieged.
Yeah, nice EMPs. EMPing all of the Archons, but the Templar do drop in, and they are storming all of the bio units. Another good round of EMPs, but the Concave has lived long enough.
Yeah. He did it. He was able to weather the storm. Like, the storm landed on the army, but the majority of the tanks stayed alive.
Literally weathering a storm there.
Oh my god, he has to be careful to make sure the tanks stay alive. The Zealots are coming in.
Exactly, these tanks are great, but he really needs a bio to be able to deal with all of these Zealots. Now, the army right now does favor Dream at the moment, but again, a lot of that supply is in production, and while he may have the higher army supply, he does not have the better unit composition at the moment.
Exactly. So a couple of things just happened. So Dream, he was able to hold on because of the defender's advantage. The tanks, as soon as they popped out of production, they were able to siege up, and he was able to maintain his position here outside his third base. Zest, all he has is gateway units. Like, he lost all his Colossus. I don't think he had Colossus. He lost all of his High Templar. He lost the War Prism as well. Like, his like high-tech units were essentially reset. Now he's forced to go into disruptors.
It's funny when you're playing TVP and the highest tech Protoss units are Archons.
Yeah, exactly, and that was beautiful to see. Like, the Archons were completely blanketed with EMPs. They all just immediately evaporated, but at the same time, of course, the storms did land as well, and we're in this weird position where I kind of want to give the edge to Dream a little bit. Another drop in the third base of Zest, able to kill more probes. Liberator.
Take a page off of, who was that one player that cast it yesterday in Battle of the Americas? Take a page off of Vindicta here.
Yeah, Vindicta.
There's some late game Liberator harass.
Yeah, and I'm sure Vindicta kind of learned that play from Runamuck, as he was also
naturally
of the OCE scene.
Actually, think about it, both Dream and Vindicta, they both make ghosts.
You know what? You're not wrong. They make ghosts. Coincidence?
Probably.
Probably. Interesting. So Zest is trying to be a little bit cheeky here. We have Blink DTs on the way. I believe 6 DTs were just morphed in. Blink is on the way for them as well. Oh my god, that's so many DTs. He could just immediately focus down a planetary. Or a CC.
He really could. Oh, or could he? With this amount of turrets out. Dream, he knows who he's up against. He knows that Zest isn't someone to shy away from these kind of tactics to in order to get himself an advantage.
Oh my god, and the armies are missing each other. We have the main army of Dream here to the left-hand side.
Auto repair is going to be quick enough. I don't think so. And as you were saying, like, the planetary does get taken out. Meanwhile, over in the south, there's actually a really good oh
wow.
Yeah, there's actually a pretty good defensive setup. Some very nice sniping and EMPs. I thought for sure that Purification Nova was going to hit.
Oh, same, exactly. That was beautifully done by Dream. Even though his attention was split, he was able to immediately snipe those disruptors before the hits landed and dodge the rest. Like, Dream, he's just doing so well right now. Oh my god.
Exactly, now look at the army supply.
Oh my god, the army supply. Dream is maxed out. Zest, he's down by 20 supply, just trying to morph in as much as he can. A lot of this are in these disruptors. It looks like they have recharged their shots. Meanwhile, I love this. He's going to be counterattacking, but there's already an army here.
There's already an army, not a very big one, but with the EMPs, I do imagine that Dream should be able to barely hold on. Meanwhile, up in the north, the main push.
Oh my god, the main push is coming. It looks like all these DTs will be eventually dealt with.
Yeah,
oh my god,
Blink
not
Micro, actually.
25. So many SCVs are going down.
Yeah, the army gets taken out. Very good Blink Micro on these DTs, which is kind of a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
And 34 SCVs have gone down. Dream.
He's kind of all in.
Down, exactly. He's down so many bases right now, so many workers as well. He has a much better army, but he has to close out the game before Zest is able to hold.
Exactly, but just like that, Dream is able to snipe off a couple of disruptors, but there may just be too much here from Zest. Dream, this is all he has.
Maybe. We are in a scenario where these disruptors are just about what Zest wants against the army of Dream. It's mostly C-Sheks, I was going to say, but apparently that's enough. Come on, phone. My heart is racing right now, Flight.
Oh my god, the target fire! Every single one of those disruptors went down for Zest. Zest had nothing but Zealots and Stalkers to take on all of the tanks that we saw from Dream. He just didn't have enough, and even though he forced Dream all in, like, Dream, he had less than half of the worker count of Zest. Like, Zest had as many pros as he would want, but Zest didn't have the army, and that's what it came down to.
That's what it did, and I guess that proves that SKT more than KT.
SKT more than KT. Dream. No, he didn't just take Zest out. He just 2-0'd Zest.
2-0. He has not dropped a single map so far in his tournament run, but that could very much change here, Light. As I'm looking at the semifinals, his opponent is waiting for him. It's gonna be Solar.
Oh my god, we have our first semifinals ready. Dream.
Even you can't believe
Solar. Yeah, in a TVZ, and this, oh my god, this is old school. Dream and Solar, I remember, they've duked it out in the past, back in 2014, 2015. And, oh my god, we're on the Dream hype train.
Exactly. KT already taken out, now we just need to take out Samsung Galaxy.
Yeah.
It was Galaxy already by 2015, right? It wasn't Con anymore?
It was Galaxy.
Right. Because they were trying to market their phone line.